press and everyone else is out here because you believe in a story. We believe in the fact that this is unjust. We believe in the fact that this is wrong. We also believe that they're about to run up on us and do some danger. So therefore, I will tell you this, I have done no wrong, I will not do no wrong, and the only thing I will stand for is justice among our people. That means black, brown, white, or whatever it is. Charlotte, North Carolina has been built on minorities and everyone else. Please understand that.
Let me ask you what happened. Let me ask you one thing that happened up there. One young man shot very close to death up there. Do you know what happened? Do you know who's responsible for it?
Mecklenburg County is the reason why, because no one else has guns, dude. I mean, none of us have guns. The largest weapon we have is a camera phone. And that's the largest weapon that we have, is a camera phone and knowledge. And knowledge itself.
Steve, let me ask this guy a question.
Is the biggest weapon you could possibly ever have. 704, Charlotte, North Carolina, and surrounding has been built on minorities, whether it's banking, whether it's money or anything else. And if we were to take away the money and start putting it within our own companies, within our own groups, there would be a problem, and that whole number 2, number 3 would drop to 10.
Let me ask you, when the police do fire tear gas, what actions are you going to take? We see people throw bottles at police, throw rocks back. What's going to happen when tear gas is fired?
The bad part is they've thrown tear gas. You know what else they've thrown? They've thrown bullets. They've also thrown hatred. They've also thrown racism. They've thrown multiple...
Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Steve, I want you to ask this guy a question because I'm paying very close attention to everything that he's saying. The police have a very different version. Now, either this man is right and this kid was carrying a book, this man was carrying a book, or the police are right and the man was carrying a gun. So the question is, why can't he wait until all the evidence is presented before he rushes to judgment?
Now, the original spark that set this all off, the shooting of the man, do you know why that happened? Why the police shot the man? What is your version of events?
From what I understand, they thought and they felt a threat being by this young man. And I say young man because he was only 43, 45 years young. He was a young man. He had family. He had kids.
Did he have a gun or did he have a book? Which version is true?
Understanding, he had both. It seems like because the way that you guys cross it up, he has a gun and now we're dealing with the problem. This is what happens when you bully.
Well, wait a minute. Why does he rush them, Steve? The question is, why is he rushing to judgment before we know the facts in the case? The police said he had a gun, and the resident said he had a book. Why do people rush to judgment? Why can't they wait for all the evidence in?
There's not a lot of patience here right now, Sean. That man has moved back into the crowd.
Okay.
As this police line has moved forward, threatening arrest and threatening more tear gas, a lot of people have run backwards. So the police now have moved forward about 600 yards over the course of an hour as they slowly try to regain control here.
Steve, let me ask you this. You know, a lot of these incidents we've seen that professional agitators, people bust in from outside communities who know nothing about the community. Have you gotten any indication, in fact, that's happened? And do you know what's happened? It looks like there's a reporter that's down in the white shirt there.
Whoa.
People... What happened, Steve-O?
So what we're seeing now are what looks like paintball shots being fired, exploding on the ground to try and drive some protesters back, and bottles being hurled at the police. So a real back and forth here. The police in this line have shown tremendous patience. They've been pelted with bottles. They've had fireworks shot at them, and they're just basically holding their ground.
What was that bang we just heard?
Explosion. We've seen some... That was a flashbang explosion and some fireworks to try and drive people back.
Okay, who started that fire in the middle of the street?
To all of this, and it's having less and less effect as time goes on.
And do you know who started the fire that's in the street?
Your question about the makeup of this crowd is interesting because it's kind of sad how this thing has evolved over the last couple hours, because early on, when it was still light out, you saw a lot of parents with
all right, here we go. There's tear gas.
I don't know what that was, but it came from the direction of the protesters. Now, those are designed to intimidate and designed to to frighten, and they're very effective. They're flashbang grenades, and they make people
Yep,
scream and
we just
run
saw one go
backwards.
off right now.
That's what's happened.
Are
And
you
that's
okay?
more tear gas as well. And there's a slight breeze out, which has made the tear gas a little less effective than it ordinarily would be.
All right, Steve, stay right there. If I can, I want to go back to former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who's on the phone with us. Is he gone? Is Ben Carson there?
I'm here, Sean.
Okay. Fox News senior correspondent Geraldo Rivera is with us. He's been in many of these situations himself. Darrell Parks, who represented the Trayvon Martin family, is with us as well. Geraldo, you've been in many of these situations. You see what's going on. Looks like the police now are trying to take the remaining protesters, although looks like a bottle was just hurled at them. And they're using the flashbang and some tear gas to push the crowd back. You've been there many times yourself. It seems to me like they're showing a lot of restraint. That's my opinion.
The cops are doing a great job in Charlotte, but you're in the fourth hour now, Sean, of the second day of